Hi there, this is Bren White again, and this is Caring 101, Episode 2. In July of 1880, Vincent van Gogh wrote his younger brother Theo a letter from a small coal mining village in Wallonia, Belgium, near Mons, Belgium. And he said to his brother several things about the state or the condition of human beings. He was reaching out as an evangelist. A young man, Vincent van Gogh, was ministering to the poor who lived in this area, who were coal miners. And he had seen all kinds of difficulty and hardship, pain and suffering among these people. And so he asks some questions that he knows that his brother Theo will understand. He says, "Do you know what frees one from this captivity of loneliness? It is a serious, deep affection, being friends, being brothers. Love, that is what opens the prison by supreme power. Without this, one remains in prison." He's talking about relationship again, caring, love, he talks about, a special caring. And he notes that this prison of loneliness, of being cut off, really helpless, hopeless, cut off, isolated, is only cured by this one thing, by this connectedness, this genuine caring and love. Now, he talks about it because Vincent van Gogh almost memorized the entire New Testament of the Bible. And he knew exactly what Jesus Christ said. His dad was a minister, and he knew the Bible well, along with his brother Theo. And so he actually was referring to something Jesus said in John 13:34 in the Gospel of John, where he says to those in front of him, "Love one another." And he was basically tasking them, telling them that one of the overarching things that human beings are designed for and are supposed to do every day is to love one another, genuinely care about each other, expressing love in genuine ways, kind ways. And so it's very interesting that this is the backdrop of Vincent van Gogh's life. And he went through all kinds of crazy and hard things as a human being. But this was his perspective at this point in time. Now, all of the humans that I have known have been able to ascertain whether or not they are being cared for genuinely or not. Most human beings know if they are being controlled and manipulated or oppressed, or if they're actually being genuinely valued, cared about, loved in some way. They can perceive this. Their brains, human brains, are designed for this. A whole set of cues, nonverbal as well as verbal. Patterns. In fact, this caring pattern is something that neuroscientists have studied quite a bit for quite some time. And we can talk about that some, but basically, we know at an operational level that humans know the difference and that they know whether they're being inspired and lifted up, or whether they're being manipulated and really controlled or oppressed in some way. This is clear even now, socially, in the world. This is very, very clear at this moment in history. In life, there is a choice between being conformed or transformed. And the Apostle Paul talks about this very clearly in chapter 12 of his letter to the Romans, Christians in Rome. And he is addressing one of the most fundamental issues. All human beings are seeking a pattern, some kind of pattern. The philosopher Kierkegaard actually said about Jesus Christ, now Christ is the pattern. The pattern for caring, the pattern for genuinely caring about another human being. He is the pattern, and he presents this pattern. There's always a source for everything, for all information, and for all patterns. And so you and I get to decide whether we will be conformed, pressurized from outside, and comply with whatever oppressive thing is going on, or whether we will choose a certain productive pattern, a good pattern, and be transformed by it, improved by the pattern itself. This is the pattern of caring, and this is why we're talking about it in this series. We'll talk more about this as we go along, but I just wanted to share a couple things about this with you this session. And we'll talk more next time, but if you will, I'm just going to note a couple of things that the writer of this book on caring, Milton Mayroff, what he says about it, because it gives us some more clues. And he actually says very specific things that are ingredients to genuine caring. He says early on in the book, to help another person grow is at least to help him to care for something or someone apart from himself. Now, this is very important because what happens when a human being stays focused on themselves, self-centered, and they do not focus on other people in a caring way? What happens? They become more and more self-centered and less caring. Really, they become harsher in every way as a human being. So this is paramount. This is, if you actually want to become a mature human being, you must learn how to care genuinely in this way. So this is the importance of it. Something or someone apart from himself, and it involves encouraging and assisting him to find and create areas of his own in which he is able to care. So this is kind of a replicating thing. Jesus Christ discipled people, and this is what he was doing. He was modeling for the human beings around him how to genuinely care for human beings, how to love them, how to serve them, and to help them to grow in the best possible way in terms of their potential. And this is exactly what we're talking about. So the growing part of this is it's growing inside of growing. It's caring inside of caring. The more you and I learn how to care for each other, the more we grow, the more we actually mature, and we develop into stronger human beings. And more productive or fruitful human beings. This whole caring process is behind that, this pattern of caring. And there are some other things that we can talk about with this. One of the first things that he mentions is in caring as helping the other to grow, I experience what I care for as a person as an extension of myself, and at the same time as something separate from me that I respect in its own right. So this is the bridge. Caring about other people is the bridge away from self-centeredness, away from selfishness. It's the bridge toward maturity, emotionally and spiritually and mentally. This is the way healthy human beings develop. And it's interesting that some of the most famous writers and philosophers in history have made it very clear that the person who they focused on, who helped them to become a caring and productive human being, happened to be Jesus Christ. We'll talk more next time, but this is a good beginning. I'm glad that you are with me, and we have a lot to explore, so stay with me. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.